Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 3 over 32 podcast. Before we start anything, I just want to give a nice little toast. Vikings are 5-0 headed into the bye week this week. Huge, huge by us. Thank you, Sam Darnold. I love you. Brian Flores, hit me up if you ever want to chill. I'm game for it.
Yeah, if anyone could have told me, or anyone could have told any of us that the Minnesota Vikings would be on top of the NFL right now, I think we all would have called you crazy. They have been playing out of this world. I mean, Sam Darnold, we kind of said it at the beginning of the year, right? All Sam Darnold had to do
Insane.
was not turn the ball over and make those good throws, but I mean, dude, he's gone above and beyond. I mean, he has become a true great, kind of prospect now in the NFL. And I think if he doesn't stay in Minneapolis, he's got a hell of a bright future, man. Hell of a bright future he's making for himself.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, to come off this season bearing down, knuckling up against these teams that we played. I mean, don't get me wrong, last week was crazy. It was a hard, crucial standpoint, but our defense came up huge. We're winning these games strictly off a defensive mind with coach Brian Flores. And the fact that we're still undefeated going into the bye, also coming back with TJ Hawkinson, that's huge.
Dude,
That's
Insane.
crazy.
Insane.
huge.
I didn't expect
Insane.
him to
That is
come back
huge.
that quickly. So he's
I
coming
mean, you
back
got to think
fast.
we're at week 6. Like, when did he have that problem? He had that MCL ACL situation. What, week 12?
Yeah, it was deep into
I'm
the
not
season.
mistaken.
Is late
Indeed.
last year
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because they were
I think that
originally
was
they were
that was
forecasting him to come back like weeks 9 through 10 or somewhere in and around. Like it was deeper into the season.
Yeah.
I think we had like pre Josh Dobbs being taken out. That's when he was. It was the game before Josh Dobbs was taken out. So whatever that was last season, our viewers, it's all yours. Go with your merry way. I mean, but that's all I gotta say. We smacked the Packers. Love them. Screw the cheeseheads. I did burn cheese off my balcony, and then we came up huge in London against Aaron Rodgers, the Vikings killer. I got nothing really much to say about it. I can highlight this team, talk about it forever, but freeform style tonight. Let's just rip it off. What do you guys got to talk about right now?
Honestly, I kind of want to start with our teams because I feel like Will, you have a lot to say, obviously, and
So much.
for me, at least for the Giants, the whole season just turned around in a heartbeat. I don't know what to say right now. I feel like that first week is kind of just like out of my memory now, and I'm starting to think ahead, and I'm pretty excited. Giants lead the league in sacks. Daniel Jones just played one of his best games I've ever seen last week against Seattle,
I will
and
agree.
I'm just shocked. I think Tyrone Tracy Jr., their rookie running back, he balled out last
Insane.
week. He looks great.
Insane.
I hope he takes that starting job. They're probably gonna still use Singletary, or they're gonna have Singletary start. But I think Tracy Jr. could take that job hopefully by midseason. And otherwise, I'm really looking forward to this weekend game, Giants Bengals. I don't know what's going to happen. I do think Giants can pull out the victory, but it's going to be a high scoring game if they are going to pull out a victory. They're going to have to score at least 25, 30 points because Bengals are one of the best offensive teams in the league. And also, another thing, too, is we have a few injuries, too. Kayvon got hurt. He broke his wrist. Apparently, he's not going to be out for a while. I think it's going to be around like 3 to 6 weeks, which kind of sucks. But I I don't know. I don't think it's going to affect the team that much. But it's still a big injury. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Malik Neighbors still out. I don't get what's going on with him, to be honest.
Concussion.
Yeah, it's just crazy he's lasting this long though for concussion protocol.
Since
Big L.
since since you brought up Malik Neighbors, the dude can ball, and I'll give you that. But like, he's got to know how to land after a diving catch like that. I think that was purely on him. I don't think that was Jones's fault. Yeah, it may have been out of his, uh, you know, area to retrieve it. But like, dude, if it's out of your area, don't go for it. Risk your body. It's your rookie season. We want to see you break records. We want to see you become offensive rookie of the year or be in the running for it.
Yep.
That just set him back so hard. And I will say you're making Wandell Robinson look like a wide receiver one.
Nah, I mean,
That is,
I don't know.
I'm so heavy on Wandell Robinson this week.
Darius Slayton is their wide receiver one for sure. I think Darius Slayton's been on the team the longest.
Okay, yeah, he
Wandell
has a
has the
veteran
most
presence.
drops on the team.
Mhm.
He's kind of a PPR merchant right now. He just gets the ball a lot in slot scenarios. But I don't know. I think the Giants are spreading the ball around more without Malik. At least last week they did. So I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
excited about that. Um, and then yeah, I the other
um,
thing too, Jalen Hyatt, absolutely
yeah.
ghost. The dude's not
Yeah.
playing on the team. He is
No,
trash. He's tragically
he's
bad.
which
He
is a
doesn't even have a
shame.
target. Well, he might
No.
actually have one or two, but he doesn't have a
Yeah.
catch. He doesn't have a catch. He's the
I still
worst
think.
draft pick by far that Joe Shane's had. Sorry, Greg.
No, I was just about to go into Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah,
To be honest, Jalen Hyatt, he's irrelevant. He's just like our fourth man, the Bengals' fourth man, Tremaine. What's his name? Tremaine Burton
Jermaine
on the
Burton,
Bengals.
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
like he's irrelevant right now. So like, I'm talking pure stardom in the making. Tyrone Tracy, that last game, and I knew we even called it. That preseason game we watched, I believe it was together. It was the Giants. I think it was the last preseason game, and he exploded. He did it against Seattle, which is Seattle. They were undefeated at one point in the season, but like, dude, I am all in on Tyrone Tracy. If he's in your fantasy league, if you got him in a bet, if you got him in anything, you're going for Tyrone Tracy. I think he's the best thing, or he's the next best thing out of the backfield for New York.
yeah,
I believe,
yeah. I agree.
especially with that new up front five that you guys have. I mean, they're all run blockers. They're
Yeah,
all run blockers.
yeah. They block pretty well. I mean, the O line's looking good. Nothing to complain about with the
Was
O line.
correct me if I'm wrong. Illuminor was on that Josh Jacobs team when he broke the or when he led the season in rushing yards, right?
Yeah, pretty sure. I don't know if he played right tackle though for them, but he's playing right tackle for the Giants. But I'm not sure if because he can move around. I know. I think he played right guard
Yeah.
too in his career. So I don't know if he played right guard for the Raiders during that point, but I'm pretty sure he was on the O line for that. So,
Oh,
but yeah,
had to.
great pickup this year.
Oh yeah,
Amazing
and
pickup in free agency.
as well as the guard from Green Bay. Like he was dealing
Oh
with
yeah,
Josh
Runyon's nice.
Jacobs, like or
Yeah,
not Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. Like he's. I think you guys are sitting pretty, and I would be just as excited as you are for New York.
I'm pretty pumped.
That's just
Yeah,
me.
I'm shocked. First of all, I'm just shocked.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
really
huge
am.
turnaround from week one to where we are now with the Giants. I mean, Daniel Jones playing like again as well as you said last week in Seattle, and just an absolutely electric field goal block return for a touchdown,
Oh,
dude. I was going crazy watching
I was
that. I
going
mean, it's just
nuts.
the
Yeah.
Giants somehow pulling to being 2-3 right now is, dude. That's where you want to be, man. That's
Yep.
really where you want to be, and
Hey,
we'll see. We'll see.
I'll
I'm
I'll
hyped.
give you the I'll give you the little bit of my toast to the New York Giants. I'll give you that one.
Cheers. Cheers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I this weekend game this game's exciting. I'm actually really excited for this game though, Will. I don't know how you
I
feel.
I'm really just not. We're gonna talk about the Bengals, man. I'm not excited for a lot, and I'll tell you why right now. I'm actually gonna just take this bottle of water and dump it out for the Cincinnati Bengals, man. I think that this is the most piss poor Bengals defense I've seen
And
in since the Marvin Lewis era in like the early 2010s, man. We can't stop a mosquito, and it's so evident. There's so many holes up and down that defense. We're not getting any pressure to anybody's quarterback. Jaden Daniels tore us apart. Lamar Jackson tore us apart. We made Jacoby Brissett look like a god. I don't
Pat
understand it, man.
Mahomes.
I mean, the game against Pat Mahomes, we played well. We played well against Mahomes. They actually they we allowed them 25 points.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
and we kept him under. I think he only had maybe a hair over 200 yards, so he really didn't torch us. We always somehow magically play the best game of the season against the Chiefs. But I
I
digress.
mean, you knew
The
that. You knew that
defense,
was gonna happen.
I knew that they know how to scheme against the Chiefs. We always do. And it was, we all know what happened at the end of the game. Whatever you believe, we all know what happened. But at the end of the day, the defense is terrible, man. How is it possible right now? Joe Burrow is first in touchdown passes. He's now first in completion percentage.
He's not first in touchdown passes.
He is, dude. He's got
Sam
12.
Darnold is.
He's got
He
12,
has
yeah.
12. He's
He has
first,
12.
bro. After
Mm-hmm.
last week,
Shit.
he is first in touchdown passes. He is first in
Shit.
completion percentage, and he's top 3 in total QBR. How are we 1-4? It's ridiculous. Jamar Chase had over 200 yards receiving,
Yes.
2 crazy touchdowns, unbelievable offensive game. All for nothing, man. The game management, also, too, I want to highlight this about Zach Taylor, is I've always known that he's been shaky game management. We've seen it time and time again throughout the years, but it is inexcusable. Inexcusable. You are up 10 points with the ball with 4 minutes to go. You know you can't give Lamar Jackson the ball back. You know that. And what happens? We do it twice. We throw on the first play, we throw a crossing route. Why? Incomplete pass. What's the point? The next play, we run the ball. Okay, they call a timeout. And then we run the ball again and they use another timeout. They punt, they score. And then on the ensuing drive, we can't get 5 yards. It's unbelievable to me that you piss away a lead in the last 4 minutes of the game. It's inexcusable. It doesn't matter who's on the other team. It really doesn't matter when it comes down to that. And that's the most annoying part of this whole thing is that game was won, man. That game we had in the bag until the last 4 minutes when it just completely fell off the rails.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you guys held a lead longer than 9 minutes this season?
Definitely not. Probably no.
I don't think
Actually,
so
yes,
either.
yes. In the Panthers game when we clapped the
Oh,
Panthers, we led the entire second
ah.
half.
That's who I was forgetting. The
Our
Panthers. Because
only
I was
win
going.
this year.
While I was looking up, I was just going through it in my head. Like the Commanders, the Chiefs, I know it was close. The Ravens, I saw, and it was like you had it for 4 minutes. I mean, the Patriots, you had it for what, 5, maybe 6.
We
And I was
barely,
just
we didn't
thinking,
even have, I don't even think we had a lead in that game, to be honest with you. But again, the point of this being is if you are so offensively loaded and you know that your defense is the weak point all up and down the board, I'm not singling out the secondary, I'm not singling out anyone. You know the defense has been tragic all year. You have to play clock. You have to be able to manage the game. You have to be able to grind teams down, make them burn their timeouts, and just play smart. You have to keep the ball. And that was evident to everyone in that damn stadium except for Zach Taylor, apparently. And it just boggles my mind. This team should not be 1-4 right now. I understand the Commanders are great with Jaden Daniels. We'll see how long that lasts. I understand that Lamar Jackson is who Lamar Jackson is. He made some fantastic plays. But this team is way too good to be 1-4. And honestly, I don't see it getting better. A team against that we're playing this Sunday, the Giants, you guys have been on a roll recently. Daniel Jones has been playing well. He's going to carve that defense apart. And I'm completely content with saying that because he can. Anybody can. A fucking JV quarterback can carve that defense apart. It's not a problem. So it's bad. It's really bad. I'm hitting the panic button on this team already. We've seen the last 3 years. We know what happens. We've started the year 0-3, 1-3 the past few years, but the difference has been that those games have been well connected against tougher opposition, and we've had something to show for it.
so let
Granted,
me just,
last week,
yeah, I just want to interrupt you here on this. Those quarterbacks you've played, I don't think you've ever seen Jacoby Brissett in that span of Zach Taylor being part of the Bengals. And if you did, it was when he was tragic. Jane Daniels, the only quarterback I'll give it to you, is that was like throwing an ice cube up in or throwing an ice cube in a smoking hot bowl of water. That thing was gonna melt. You don't have any film on him. You don't know how he plays. And then to me, what really shocked me was the fact that you still could not. Yes, MVP, whatever he is, Lamar Jackson division rival, and you still let him do that. I just want to bring this back. Like, it is something within the internal office of your coaching staff that I can see that's messing it up. It's clearly not your defense's fault. Like, secondary, you do have a great player. Up defensive line, you have two great players. Your middle linebackers, but like, it's something to do with
It's
the
not.
coaching staff.
Yeah, it's not a coherent unit at all.
No.
It's so disconnected. And like I said, offensively, we have it to a T. We play apart from the first game. We've played great offensive football for 5 weeks now.
I have one more thing. Your running game is atrocious because it's a
Yeah.
sole factor of that. Zach Taylor does not trust the running game strictly on Chase Brown.
Yeah, Chase Brown, Zach Moss, a lot of them. Yeah, they haven't been trusted. I think that they need to do more. And it comes back to that game management situation, right? You have to be able to have trust in your personnel. Again, it's 1st and 10 with 4 minutes left. If you're playing Mahomes, Lamar, you're playing any of these great quarterbacks in the NFL, the design should be you have to play to not put the ball in their hands again. It doesn't matter if it's a 10-point game, 7-point game, 14-point game. You can't do it because you give them the opportunity. Lamar Jackson's going to do something special, and he did twice. Now,
Well,
granted,
yeah, you guys
I was
did
going to
throw
say,
a pick.
but that was before. That was before we got the ball back. That's what I'm saying. Those last 4 minutes, that pick, we got the ball
Yeah.
back after that, and that's where it started. So at the end of the day, yeah, throwing a pick in the last 6 minutes of the game is not great. I understand that, but that negates the fact that we got the ball back. And that's the problem. Lamar fumbles. We get the ball back. How is that game not closed out? Now, granted, do we have the chance? Yes. Evan
Sometimes
McPherson missed the field goal on a botched fucking uh,
field goal.
snap.
Yeah. Oh no, the
Which is
punt.
yeah, the punter gave it up, and then Derrick Henry runs down for 60 yards. It is what it is. I knew as soon as we missed it that the game was over. I knew. It's just tragic. I hope that we can get it together, and I hope that Zach Taylor realizes that a lot of this blame has to go on him and the coaching staff here in these different situations. We're 1-4. We're 0-1 in the division now, and we're crawling up from a cave now. It's going to take every single week, every single game, no more mistakes, and we just have to see what happens. But I don't have compared to the teams since we've had Joe and Jamar, I have the littlest amount of faith in this one, judging by how seemingly disconnected it is.
Damn. Yeah, I feel like the Bengals they're getting carried by Joe Burrow,
Yeah,
and it's insane now because I still think you guys are a competitive team, but I honestly thought your defense wasn't going to be that bad, and it turned out it really is. So I think it all falls on your defense. I don't think it's necessarily coaching. Yes, yes, it was terrible last week, your coaching, but I don't know. I
it was
just think you
terrible. It was
guys are.
terrible week. It was terrible week one too, right? Because we
Yeah, week
couldn't
one was
figure out
bad.
the offense week one, right? And and again, I just
I mean, you guys
I
have
don't know.
six. I think it's 6 sacks you guys have this year. That's it.
It's abysmal. We get no
6.
pressure on the quarterback. None.
Like
Zero.
no pressure. You're one of the worst run defense teams. I think you're like 31st or something for
Dude,
run defense.
we're in every defensive category. We're sub 25 in the league.
Yeah, it's like
In
it's all
every single
defense.
one, we're sub 25 in the league.
You guys are gonna have to score
Um,
like 40 a game if you want to win right now.
and
That's
we
the
did
reality
that,
of
and
it.
we lost,
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
we did, and we
So
lost. And it's crazy. It's
Tough.
let me ask you this: do you look back at it in the off season when Trey Hendrickson said, "I want to trade"? Do you say yes or do you say no?
Mm,
Still,
I mean, the thing is I don't know. We can't say for sure because we don't know what we would have gotten in capital from that. Um, do I still think that he can be a great player? Yeah, but it's just a collective unit, man. Like you said, we have pieces there, but the collective unit is just not playing well. So it's gonna have to get fixed throughout the season. And I don't know, man. I think we have to. For us, if we this is a must win game on Sunday. If we don't beat the Giants, it's toast, man. It's toast. Because
Who
then
do
on
you
the
guys
back
got?
end of the schedule, we have to play the Browns twice, the Steelers twice, the Ravens once. We have to go and play Dallas. We have to play Philly. So it, it's not good. It's not good. So if we can't pick up a win here, it's pretty much all said and done for me this year, to be honest with you. And I'm very used to it. These last 3 years have been magical, but I've been, kind of just stunk back down to reality a little bit. And if we lose Sunday, I will be in the gutter, man.
I can imagine. Sunday night football prime time. Tune in, baby.
Tune in, man. Sunday nighter at MetLife. I wish I could be there if I wasn't
Yeah.
stuck in Minneapolis, but here I am.
5-0. No, I'm fucking with you. Now since I just brought up the trades, if anybody has anything else to talk about for their team, go for it. But I really want to talk about some of these trade candidates going into the weeks before the trade deadline. Devontae Adams. What is the best scenario he lies
Going to Pittsburgh.
in
Nah,
Pittsburgh?
I don't think
I
so.
think I think
Pittsburgh's
I think that would
offense
be
is just trash. He will never get the
I
ball.
need
I
to
think
see
he would,
Russell
though.
Wilson. I need to see Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh.
He's gonna
That's
start
the
soon.
only way.
He's starting soon.
Yeah,
I know.
he is going to
That
start
is
soon.
that is the only way I can stand behind your stat right there.
Yeah.
Just because Justin Fields cannot throw a ball.
No. That
I've
Dallas
actually-
loss was terrible. Sorry, Will. That Dallas loss
I
was
was
so
just-
bad.
I was going to
Yep.
say
Yeah.
I was very big in the beginning of the year on the Justin Fields train because I wanted him to get another chance and I thought that he could be something, but it's very evident to me now that he's going down the path of like a Zach Wilson where he just can't read a defense, man. He just cannot
Nope.
pick plays. He can't pick receivers. And if you don't have that, you don't have much, man.
Speaking of that Dallas game, they should have won that game. And my girlfriend's going to hate me because she's a Cowboy fan, but they should have won that game by at least 14 points. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
They should have. And they didn't because Justin Fields wanted to go full Chicago Bear. And for what reason?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yup.
But that's just the way he rocks. Any other suggestions about Devontae?
I
No
think
other places.
I think he has to go. Like, I know this probably won't happen because it's a division rival, but the Chiefs are the number one team he should be writing down on that list. By far, they are in the need of a wide receiver, like bad. Travis Kelce's going to get hurt if he keeps getting all these targets. The dude's just not the same player. And, I mean, Rashee Rice, I think's out, right? I think he's out the whole
Rashee.
year. Yeah.
Well,
If Xavier Worthy.
they're running another.
He's not
They're
one.
running a second round of tests to make sure it's a full tear.
Yeah, and Juju played well last week, but I just don't think he's reliable every week like a Devontae Adams would be. So I think the Chiefs should make an offer and try to get him. And then the Raiders can just say, hey, we're not contending, so just have him and we'll rebuild and win another Super Bowl. Like, fuck it. So I don't know. I just think the Chiefs are the number one team by far. The Jets are probably number two, but the Jets are a mess right now, an absolute
Jets are
mess.
a mess.
They are a joke right now. So I don't know if he'd even want to go on that team, knowing their whole coaching situation and their owner's terrible. They have no idea what's going on. They don't know. But we'll talk about the Jets eventually. But I don't know. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah.
Where do you think he goes?
I mean, I originally was on the Pittsburgh train. I was all about it and saying, yeah, like, let's go to Pittsburgh and let's make Justin Fields throw this ball. As much as I would love to see that, I don't think it's going to happen. A team that I would, in the back of my mind, know it could happen are the Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
That would
They
be
have
I
have
don't
the
think-
cap, they have the room, and he goes to Detroit back into the NFC North playing his rival or his old team and knowing all the systems besides the Vikings, 5-0. I can see it. Detroit, I can see a whole bunch of teams. Like whoever has a salary cap to take on that contract, because the Raiders said, I don't want it no more. If you're gonna get Devontae Adams, you're taking the full salary cap hit. And I mean, a lot of these teams are fending it off. And another thing I wanted to bring out is that he doesn't have a trade clause. So it's where whatever the Raiders owners decides to be like, all right, see you later, Devontae. And his partner in crime for the Raiders is Max Crosby. He also said that this is probably just, air in the chute right now, is that if Devontae leaves, I'm going with them. It's a package deal.
Oh,
Which brings me to my last and probably hardest take is the Dallas Cowboys for Devontae Adams. They're down a wide receiver. All they have is CD Lamb on offense. So, I mean, Dallas Cowboys, Devontae Adams, that would be kind of crazy.
I love the Lions take. That I never thought about the Lions. That would be the craziest offense we've seen in many years.
Insane, yeah.
If he goes there, so
my division would be toast for the next century.
Yeah, but the thing is,
literally,
the thing is, Devontae is gonna want to be the main guy though. He's gonna want the ball. With Amon-Ra being there,
Amon-Ra plays slot though, so it's not like
he
could get more. He could still get a ton of targets.
That's true. I mean, yeah, he still could be in the deep ball threat. I mean, that is a really good point, and that'd be scary, man.
And then if you look at it in Dallas standpoint, who's on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb? Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah. Nobody.
Tolbert?
That's
nobody.
True.
A broken Brandon Cooks that's had probably more concussions than Antonio Brown.
Yeah, nobody, dude.
I'm starting to wonder, is he even going to get traded at this point? It's kind of like the Saints are out because of, the injuries. They're looking like shit. Jets, like I said, aren't a good team. So I don't know.
I don't know either. And leads me into another player, Amari Cooper. Any thought on him? I can see him going to KC.
I feel like that would be like a KC kind of style pickup. Just another veteran guy who can run the deep ball and actually catch for Mahomes. If I had to pick a team, I would say the Kansas City Chiefs would be hot on someone like Amari Cooper to pick up midseason.
That'd be huge for them. Yeah, that'd be huge.
I would have said the Baltimore Ravens, but I don't think they would do a divisional trade like that. I'm just against the divisional trades. I don't think it should ever happen, especially mid-season. But if a team's shooting for the draft, then sure for it.
I don't know if the Ravens even are going to try to go for any receivers just because their run game's so good. It's like that's what their identity is now. And they're just crushing teams on the ground. So I just don't think they're even going to bother trying to get a receiver. So I don't know.
I got two other names.
Yeah.
Two other names. Adam Thielen. I know we haven't heard from him since last.
Is he hurt?
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a team like even someone like the Commanders to pick up more firepower, dude. Just having someone in rotation to keep the momentum going, which is interesting because I don't think that the Commanders are going to keep rolling the way they have. But I digress.
I don't either.
I think it could be a good pickup for them down the line, though. Having
someone
like that reliable.
That's a good shout out for Commanders with Thielen. That's a really good shout out.
I don't have really much to say. I would love to see him in purple again, but to be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't really have.
You don't need him, bro. You don't need him. You don't need him.
This next guy, and I know you're going to get very mad at me, Chasky. Very mad.
Oh, it's a Giant? Who is it? Is it Slayton?
Sexy
Dexter Lawrence.
Sexy Dexy? What? Yep. Dexter Lawrence he's the soul of that team, bro.
He has been in a lot of trade rumors. And I've heard it from Minnesota Intel, from radio shows to TikToks to even news outlets, Twitter, X, Y, and Z, is that The Minnesota Vikings would not be afraid to pursue Sexy Dexy in the upfront for us. That's only because we don't really have a upfront guy. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Would I love it to happen? Hell yeah, I would.
Dude.
Why would
Dude,
you want
yeah,
that?
no, that's-
He's an unbelievable player though. Like the amount it would cost to get him would be easily a first round pick and probably
Oh, yeah.
something else. So
Oh,
I mean, he's the best. He right now, him.
he is the best defensive lineman right now.
Yeah, he probably is. I mean, I think he has 6 sacks on the year.
more than our whole
12
team,
pressures.
bro.
I mean, yeah, like he's insane. Watching him play is incredible too. So, but I haven't actually heard a lot of rumors about that. That being said, I mean, I don't think anyone who covers Giants media would want to even talk about that idea. So,
No.
but
Especially after the Saquon Barkley loss you guys
Yeah.
had in the offseason.
yeah,
That's not going to happen.
yeah.
They're just going to say, all right, New York, burn down your city. Although we have the Mets and the Yankees in the NL and ALCS.
Dude,
Ooh.
Mets make the World Series. I am literally gonna burn down a subway station.
Dude, Subway Series for the World Series would be nuts.
Would
I'm hoping
feed families. It would feed generations,
That
bro.
shit.
All right,
Feed it.
let's not get
Let's go
sports
Mets,
all mixed
baby.
up.
Come on,
That would be nuts, bro.
come on, man.
So I know, Will, you wanted to go over this, the panic or chillin' button. I know you already
Yes.
said the panic button on the Cincinnati Bengals. Do you want to divide this into players or strictly teams?
I was going strictly teams. I wanted to bring out Matt. I was listening to your other podcast with our other boy Diamond, and you brought up a really good point. You were kind of saying how we need to stop investing in teams so early on in the season because we just don't know how they're going to play. And for me, there's no other bigger culprit than that than the New Orleans Saints. We went from scoring 40 a game and Derek Carr being the best quarterback in the league to just absolutely plummeting, dude. I don't see them
Crazy.
being good at all down the stretch. I think they just had a couple great offensive games against teams that the Panthers obviously were one of them, and we know that they're probably the worst team in the NFL right now. And the Dallas Cowboys, who I think came out in that game very lackluster, just had a really off day defensively. But we've seen over the course of the last 3 weeks just a complete breakdown of both sides of that ball of the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr has been I was watching the game Monday night, and he just, before he got hurt, obviously at the end, and dude, he just looked like the same Derek Carr that we saw just 2 years ago. Just he wasn't hitting receivers, he was overthrowing balls. Like he didn't even look like he gave a shit. Like he just didn't care, man.
Dude,
So
Derek Carr
one
is-
thing I will say, that offensive line is horrendous.
They are bad, yeah.
It is
So,
bad. It is bad.
I'm-
And I will, yeah.
I'm
will
going to
say.
say the panic button fully on New Orleans. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
100%. And now, what even was the injury that Derek Carr got Monday night? Do we know?
I think it's like ribs or
Back.
something. Back. Oh,
Lower
But
back.
is he good for Sunday or no? Do we know?
no.
Spencer Rattler starting
That's
week
right.
6.
That's right. Spencer Rattler's coming in.
Bro.
Okay.
They're not going to do shit.
I don't think that they're going to do anything, but that's kind of a little lit. Like, let's be real. It's a little lit.
That's
But
hype. That's hype, bro.
I
Dude, that's pretty dope.
I think that team wins maybe 3 more games this year, 4 more games max. I think that team has just completely lost its identity from the first 2 weeks of the season, and I think it's gonna be really tough for them to be competitive in that division with the Bucks and the Falcons, who have been flying.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
I think it could be a real wrap on that team.
I can also see
earlier.
them losing. I can also see them losing to the Panthers at this rate if Carr's serious
Yeah.
about his injury. And if Carr's
Yeah.
serious about this injury, goes back to Devontae Adams, he's not going to New Orleans.
No
No.
chance. Why would you want to?
Oh, it's just like catching passes from Aiden O'Connell, and it's stupid at that rate. Yeah, I'm fully on that. New Orleans, hit that panic button.
Hit it, bro. Hit it.
Yeah, 100%.
All right,
Matt, you got anything?
I mean, if we're talking about other panic teams,
Panic or chilling, whatever you feeling right now.
let's talk about Seattle then, because they started out 3-0. I mean, yeah, they beat dude, Giants played well against them, no doubt. 49ers, I honestly didn't think the 49ers were going to beat them. I thought they were a better
I didn't
team.
either. I did not either.
I thought they've been playing better. The Seahawks have been, and the 49ers
I
kind
never,
of just outplayed them all game. So
I never lose faith in Brock Purdy. By the way, Brock Purdy's the goat.
yeah, Brock Purdy played well that game. He struggled a little bit this year, but I think 49ers are going to be okay at the end of the day. But
you,
yeah,
you
go
you
ahead.
need to take Geno Smith out of Seattle. Let Sam Howell let Sam Howell run the keys. Give him the keys. He will make that offense a whole lot better. Geno Smith needs to get out.
I
Yeah,
think
Geno's done.
the Geno Smith magic has he led him to the playoffs. What was that, 2 seasons ago? I think that magic has kind of run its course. I agree with you. I think Sam Howell they got to make some kind of change, especially if they lose again next week.
Don't get me wrong. Sam Howell kind of balled out for the Commanders. That early 5-6 games in the last season, he balled out.
Yeah, he balled out a little bit. He
I'll
threw a lot
take
of
it.
picks, but he
He
balled out.
did. He did. Which maybe now, hopefully, with DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's doing phenomenal, Tyler Lockett, who's side, and with
Yeah,
Charbonnet and Walker, that all steamboat ready to just take over and form into the Titanic. But
I
we'll see what happens.
I think the other team I was thinking about was the Bills. Um, I I think Josh Allen's gonna get killed out there. I don't know what he's been doing. He played really bad against the Texans, like terrible. That's his worst game ever. A lot of people were saying. Um,
Before I lose a shot, Devontae Adams, Buffalo.
I mean that's another idea too. Um,
Do
is
they have the
Buffalo
room
the?
for him though?
Yes.
Yeah, they don't have a number one. I don't
I'm
know.
talking about money. I'm talking about money though.
Money, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do. They do.
See, the only reason I would say they wouldn't do that is because they just drafted their potential number one in Coleman. So I wouldn't say they would jump the gun and just try to like go away from that project. I think they're gonna try to keep giving him a bigger role through each week. So I don't know. I think Bills are gonna stay put. I don't think they're gonna go out and make a big move like that. That being
I don't think
said,
so either.
I think once Shakir gets back, they're going to look a lot different too. I think he's a really solid target for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He gets open really well. He's a kind of a safety net for Josh Allen the first few weeks of the season. So once he's healthy, I think they'll look a lot better on offense. But
James Cook's got to get healthy too.
James Cook as well, another name too. But yeah, we before the podcast we were talking about their coaching a little bit. I think their coaching is can be questioned a little bit now, whether they're handling Josh Allen well or not. They've changed offensive coordinators last year. That's still up in the air, or is that a good move for them? Their head coach, making sketchy decisions late in that game against the Texans.
I will tell you right now, since Marshawn Lynch not running the ball in that Super Bowl against the Patriots, that last possession that the Bills had was the worst coaching I've seen since. You have the ball on your own 5-yard line and you throw it deep 3 times and leave a full minute on the clock. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Even the announcers, like during that game, because that was the last game on Red Zone apart from the Bengals at the 1 p.m. slot. Dude, even the local announcers were like, what are they doing? Why are you throwing the ball 3 straight times and keeping that much time on the clock? It was insane. I couldn't, there was no reason for that. It was insane.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. In my mind, I think that's just McDermott saying, I'm McDermott. I want Allen to get X amount of yards. And I never liked Sean McDermott. I think he should get out of Buffalo. Get him. He should be where, truthfully, what's the name of the old Titans coach? I keep forgetting it. Who? Vrabel.
Venables?
Oh, Vrabel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vrabel.
You put Vrabel in Buffalo, that dude could be insane.
I'm shocked he doesn't have a job. Vrabel's a good coach.
He's like a assistant offensive or defensive
for the Browns, right?
For the Browns.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
He's a motivator, man. He's a motivator.
Yeah, he is.
He had that Tennessee team back-to-back years being top 3 seeds in the AFC.
Yep. And you guys
guess who beat him? Guess who beat him twice?
Yeah.
Yep.
Congrats.
My panic button is the Indianapolis Colts.
Anthony Richardson cannot
Dude,
stay healthy, dude.
can we just start by saying, are we overhyping this guy or what? I'm tired of
I've
it.
been saying it.
Hold
I'm
on,
I've been
tired
hold
of
on,
saying
it,
hold
it.
on,
dude.
I've been saying
hold
it
on.
since day one.
All
We
they do is
rarely
show
saw
him
play
throwing the ball
college.
80 yards. Like, bro, I need more than that.
I've been
I
saying that for
personally
day
think
one.
Yeah.
I think the Colts cannot stay healthy no matter what they do. Jonathan Taylor is a moving glass vase who has turned
Yeah, it's
into
bad.
So is AR, man.
AR.
Yeah.
AR has
So
always
is
been that
AR.
since he's been drafted, but
But
Jonathan Taylor is a known back for having and led the league in rushing. This dude is now broken. He is broken. And what do you do from there? Nothing. Michael Pittman's done. He is maybe starting this week, but dude,
I
dude,
will tell
we
you. I
gotta
will tell you right now.
hold
We've
on. One
seen
last
it.
take. One last take. Joe
What?
Flacco, get your shoulders ready because you're gonna be tearing the wild.
Dude.
He's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
the quarterback probably for almost the rest of the year. I've been saying it since day one, right? We barely saw AR play in college. He had one senior season at Florida, right, where he only played in 9 of those 12 games,
Mhm.
okay? Because he got hurt then. He comes in his rookie year, he plays 5 games. Now, granted, he plays well, and I was saying it, okay, I would give it to him. He played well. However, why are we judging this guy saying he's going to be the next reincarnation of Lamar Jackson? Everyone was saying that. And now we fast forward here and it happens again. I'm telling you, we repeated injuries like this, we may never see this guy's full potential already, and it's been year 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Colts perpetually injured. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Joe Flacco is. I mean, he
Right.
granted he did almost lead them back to a victory on Sunday, but
I believe I saw this stat, but they still are considered the best offensive line in the National Football.
I
I
don't
mean
know.
they do have players on that O line. But
Yeah.
at what point does it, at that point it comes to, the players around you, and if you don't have skill possessions and you have an O line, what's the point? You got to have something. You got to have one of the two at least. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they're going to be good. So yeah, I'd hit the panic.
Full,
Yeah, I'm hitting.
full
I'm
Panic
hitting.
button.
panic.
Yeah, I'm hitting the
Now,
panic button.
I have this, and I'm going to keep it solely to my heart because I like him as a player. But Trevor Lawrence, you are overhyped as hell. Trevor Lawrence is so overhyped at this rate. It is garbage. He is overhyped. He needs to be dropped in every fantasy football league.
But I don't know how you
And
could say
just,
that after last week, though.
I can say it because he is so overhyped. Okay, maybe
I don't.
this is the
Bro.
turnaround. They're in London. They're in London, 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. This is where the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be turned around. But I am hitting the panic button either on the Jacksonville Jaguars or Trevor Lawrence.
Bro,
One of them
Trevor
has to go.
Lawrence doesn't make plays, bro. He doesn't make enough plays, dude. He's
One of them
such a
has to go.
boring quarterback to watch. I was a big fan of him coming out of college because I thought he was making plays in college. But dude is so boring. He doesn't do anything productive like consistently. I'll compare Daniel Jones since their stats are similar. What Daniel Jones brings to you is a quarterback that could run the ball at any given moment, and he's tough as hell. Like the dude's he's gonna go for yards, run the ball, get hit, and get right back up. I mean, that's such an advantage for anyone who's playing quarterback. Trevor
But
Lawrence doesn't take risks. He doesn't make big plays. I don't know. I don't know what to make of him.
why do you think he's doing that though? I got to think that this low key could come down to coaching. They just don't want him to get hurt, plain and
Well,
simple.
this leads me to another fact, and
They don't.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to last episode because our buddy Nick Diamond said it. I believe Doug Peterson is washed. He needs to lose his head coaching job because he has not proven anything in Jacksonville. What he's doing, letting Tank Bigsby become the next, Adrian Peterson. Okay, let it happen. While you're also paying $61 million a year to Trevor, and you have such a great young talent, Brian Thomas Jr. great wide receiver.
He's good.
Christian Kirk, reliable. ETN, what are we doing? But
Yeah.
come on, man. Come on.
He has the
see-
pieces.
I think he does, but
He had more pieces in that offense than he did for that Super Bowl in Philadelphia.
Oh,
He has
yeah.
more pieces, and he can't make it happen.
I just go back to Trevor Lawrence, dude. He threw for like a ton of yards last week, but it's just there's something about him. There's the way he runs that offense. Whether it's Trevor Lawrence decision making wise or Doug Peterson play calling wise, there's something off where they just can't consistently put the pressure on teams on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what it is with them, but they're going to struggle all year long. And I think Jordan Peterson will get fired for sure, but Trevor Lawrence is going to be on that team,
for his whole career.
Pretty much.
You rather switch your head coach than your starting quarterback in the NFL.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I do think that there's still room for a lot of potential there. I don't think it's necessarily that we have to give up
there
on
is.
him because,
There is still potential because he's 24, I think.
yeah, and the other thing too is if you look at the coaches that he's had, I mean, he had that shit show with Urban Meyer right when he got in the league, and he switched coaches halfway through. He still had that unbelievable playoff comeback against the Chargers 2 years ago. Like, he made plays all year that year in 2022, 2023.
Dude, wait.
So,
let me just say, though, he threw 3 picks that first half in that playoff game. Do not forget that. This dude, yes, he had the comeback. He threw 3 picks that game to get him in that situation. So I get we want to say he had the comeback. But anyone throwing 3 picks in a playoff game, like, you still got to scratch your head a little bit. So,
but realistically, let's think about this here. Would you rather, if you're just negate the franchises, if you are a franchise, would you rather have Trevor Lawrence as your starter, or someone like AR, or any number of these?
Let's compare him to Sam Darnold right now, because that's where Trevor Lawrence's future might be. You talk about a dude who's been in the league and struggled his first 3 or 4 years.
No, it won't be because he's already signed to a mega deal.
Well, yeah, that's true. But in terms of play, I guess I'm trying to compare them in terms of how they're playing. I think Sam Darnold has just as much talent as Trevor Lawrence, so he's having his moment now. When will Trevor Lawrence have his moment where he's a top 5 quarterback in the league? I mean, we could say it's in the future, but I don't know.
But if you take Trevor Lawrence and you put him on that Minnesota Vikings team right now,
that's the thing.
Does he do better than Sam Darnold?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I think he does, man. I think he does.
This is where I'll lie. Yes, because we have the defense. We have way better offensive weapons than what they have in Jackson.
You have better coaching.
And our quarterback coaching, Kevin O'Connell was a quarterback for a Super Bowl winning team. And Josh McCown has been on several organizations and still made a legacy. So, I mean...
Yes, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's all about what your environment is for the most part. I mean, there's outliers in that scenario, but for the most part, that's what it is in the NFL.
I still think his plays, which benefits Matt's standpoint, his play management skills on the field mid-play is horrendous. He's overthrowing people. He's throwing it into random directions. And then it also goes to Doug Peterson having these plays called and implemented and saying, all right, let's just throw it to Zay Jones in the end zone. For what are we doing that for? When we have Brian Thomas Jr. that can run 67 yards down the field, or Christian Kirk that can probably give you 3 catches, 60 yards down the field?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I think Trevor Lawrence needs to be more accurate. Needs to have better decision making. It's both of them. It's both.
Panic.
It's coach and it's player. It's panic. It's panic. Yeah, we're panicking on the Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson project right now.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Injuries. You guys have any thoughts on devastating injuries? Christian McCaffrey. That's rough for the Niners. Malik Neighbors we talked about. I can see that working. Aaron Jones now.
Aaron Jones. Yeah, that was rough. to see him go down. There's been a ton of injuries. First of all, I don't
There
even know
has
where to start, really. But yeah,
I think it's Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey we have to talk about. Everybody drafted him first
I'm telling you, this is
to
what's going to
maybe
happen.
2.
He's going to come back. The 49ers are going to make the playoffs. He's going to come back week 15, get 25% like of reps for the game out of the backfield, and then playoff wise 100% reps. He's going to go all out. They're just going to give him the ball every play, and they're going to go far in the playoffs. I can tell you that's what's going to happen, dude. He's going to get fully healthy. They injected him with stem cells. He's going to be nice at the end by December. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's going to come back, and he's going to play well at some point.
If you're talking to all our fantasy owners out there, it's Christian.
I would say it's not worth picking him up because he's not going to get full reps until the playoffs, and by that point, fantasy's going to be over. That's what I would say. If you're trying to win now, don't even bother picking up Christian McCaffrey because he's not playing full reps during the regular season. He's getting, like I said, he'll probably get like 25% at most percentage of reps in the backfield because Mason's killing it. Why would they go to McCaffrey for regular season reps when Mason could do the job fine? It's the playoffs that matter. That's when you need the special players, the special moments, the big time plays that come out. That's what McCaffrey offers you at those big moments.
So now Mason's injury is an AC joint in his shoulder. He's out for maybe a week or 2. Does that affect your take on them still making the playoffs?
No, they have so many weapons. I mean, Debo had a terrible week last week. This week, or this following week we just watched, killed it. Like it's crazy.
He had a great week.
Kittle, nuts. We never talk about Kittle anymore. The dude's one of the best tight ends in the league. Brandon Ayuk, right now, yeah, I would say so. And then Brandon Ayuk, the dude's gonna pop off any given week. I mean, they have so many options for receivers.
Juwan Jennings went off for that 45-point game.
Crazy. I honestly think they have another guy in the backfield that could just take over that we don't even know about. You know.
Okay, another trade. Chuba Hubbard going to San Francisco.
That would be sick. I don't think they're trading for anyone, but that would be sick.
That would be.
Chuba Hubbard's prime right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard. Jonathan Brooks is coming back for the Panthers, so that's also huge for the Panthers. I love Jonathan Brooks right now.
I don't know.
Not more than the Boise State running back, but Jonathan Brooks.
We don't know he's going to be there. Chuba Hubbard. If he's better than Chuba Hubbard, we're talking about him being like a top 5 back in the league already. So
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen right away. So I think Chuba Hubbard is going to be leading that backfield still. But obviously, Jonathan Brooks is the future of that team, but not this year. It just can't be.
Quick shout out to college ball. If Ashton Genty on Boise State continues his run and they still give the Heisman to Travis Hunter, I'm never watching college football again.
Dude, Travis Hunter.
I will never watch.
He's not winning the Heisman right now. I don't think so.
Ashton Genty is the best running back prospect since probably Todd Gurley.
That's crazy.
To come out.
I mean, this could happen.
He is on par. They were showing stats from his season right now to Barry Sanders is 19. I think it was 83 at Oklahoma State, his Heisman campaign. And he's like literally right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I saw that.
Just a quick shout out to Ashton Genty, bro.
Dude,
quick shout out.
It's crazy how many good running backs have been coming out the past, like every other year. Dude, it's crazy.
And this next so year, low key.
Yeah, they are. Like out of nowhere. Like it's crazy.
And this, I mean, going back to the Niners, Isaac Garnado, I think his last name is. He played some ball last night. I thought he did pretty well.
Okay.
I thought he did pretty well. I mean, he didn't have like what Mason had, but first steps on the field in a primetime game. I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
All right. I think we just got to talk about the Chillin teams right now. Personally, I want to bring this up. The Kirk O'Chain's 509 yards last week was painful to watch because,
crazy game.
Kirk O'Chain's. Very crazy game. I really thought it was all Tampa Bay, but I think the Falcons are chilling. I'll just see if they can make it past the first round of playoffs.
I'd agree with that for sure. I would agree. I think the big test there is can they hold the Bucks off from winning the division? That second
Very
game,
true.
I think it's the beginning of December. Between them is going to be. I mean, that'll be it. That'll be for the division. I'm telling you right now. With the Saints and the Panthers being so clapped out, I think it's going to come down to that game right there. So it's going to be really interesting. That was one that I had on the chillin' side. I also have for now, right now, I have the Washington Commanders chilling, but that's right now. I firmly believe that, Greg, you're big on this. Once people get tape and they know
Yeah.
how JD plays, I don't think that team has enough. Do I think they make the playoffs? Probably. But I do not think that team has enough going forward right now to sustain like an 11-5, an 11-6, like a 12-5 season.
Mhm.
I don't think they have enough. But I do
I
think that they are chilling right now. I mean, you can't
if the,
argue with it.
if there's a bet out there, I'm taking Commanders over 10.5 wins. Over
Ooh.
9.5 wins.
Oh,
Nine and a
okay.
half wins. Sorry,
Okay,
nine and a half.
9.5, yeah, but like it's
I'm
There's
gonna
gonna
get
be,
taking
dicey
that.
down the stretch. It's gonna get
dude.
dicey for them.
I think they're gonna go on a losing streak at one point this year. Whether that's 3 or 4 games, I could just see it happening.
So
It
this
happens
is
all the
also
time with rookie quarterbacks.
it's a shout because it's your division, Matt. We haven't seen the Eagles with AJ Brown be AJ Brown this season,
Yeah, he was only week 1. Oh, he was only
and
playing
now
week 1. So.
we get to see him this week coming
Oh,
off. I believe the Eagles had the bye.
yeah,
They had their bye.
yeah.
He
Dude, Eagles are gonna be fine. I get why people are criticizing them because they've been such a dominant team, but I think the Eagles are gonna be fine. And I hate to say that, but I could see them maybe not making the playoffs, but getting like 9 wins and missing the playoffs. Because Dallas is the team that I'm gonna choose as chillin' because they're finding ways to win at all costs, even with a beaten up defense, like bad. They have so many injuries on their defense. So I'm saying Dallas is chilling right now. I'm not to say that they could lose a bad game here or there because of the injuries that they have, but they've proven to me that they can win with when it comes down to the wire, and that's what makes great teams is when you could win when things are tough. That's what the
Yeah.
Chiefs have been doing. That's what That's what the Vikings kind of been doing recently, especially against the Jets. You win against a tough matchup down the wire, down the stretch. So I think Dallas is chilling, and I think people are underestimating them this year. But yeah, that's my take.
I like Dallas. I like them. Like I said, I don't think they should have won against Pittsburgh
No.
because of how their team was, but I do like them. I have faith. The team that I say is now. It's kind of hard when I have so much hate for division. I still believe it's going to be the Detroit Lions at the end of the day. If they make that trade happen, they could steal the division from us. They're the only team that can. Caleb's not doing it. The Green Bay Packers proved to us they're not doing it. I personally think the Detroit Lions are chilling. Now, we all knew this. Going to my second pick, I mean, it's really up in the air. I want to say some outlandish shit right now, and I know I'm going to get heat from both of you.
Go for it.
The Denver Broncos.
Their defense
They're
is elite, bro.
Their
they're
defense is
kind of
elite. Sertain in that secondary is insane.
That secondary is the best in the league.
they are kind of chilling right now. If they can get Bo Nix a little fire under them and establish
Dude,
the run game, that
that's the
is a
thing with
team.
that's another team where they have weapons on offense. They have a solid defense. If you really look at it, if you break it down to just the quarterback play of Bo Nix, all he has to do, just like I said with Sam Darnold, all he has to do for them to win games is not turn the damn ball over. They will win
Right?
games based on defense. Don't turn the ball over. Find your receivers, just like he did last week,
Yeah.
and they will be fine. I agree with you, Greg. I agree with you. I think they're like I think
agree.
it's like a yellow light. They have
It's
to
a yellow.
for
They're
them
like
for
they can't.
them they
Oh,
have
man.
to sweep the Raiders. They
Yep.
have to at least take one from the Chargers, and they like it's gonna be hard. But if they
They gotta
actually
take one.
want to make they have to take
They
one
have
from
to take
Kansas
one
City
from
if they
Kansas.
want to make the playoffs. They
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
I think that's the next. I think that's the next game for the Chiefs after this week. I think it's
After
week
San Fran,
7.
yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
game.
Broncos
Who's
after this
home?
week because they're on a bye week. I believe.
I'm pretty
hold on
sure
one
it's
second.
Denver. I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
Denver.
Denver.
Dude, Sean Payton, I'm telling you, man, Sean Payton's a good coach, dude. And yes, their defense carrying them, but Bo Nix is not bad. Like he had a bad game
I like the
against the
fire.
Jets, but
I
it's
like- I
he's
like the
good.
fire under his ass, dude. When he was kind of like arguing
Yeah.
with Sean Payton, but just saying
Yeah.
like, "Hey, this play call was shit."
It
Like,
shows
dude, you
like a
wanna
little
see that out of
maturity.
your
Yeah.
quarterback.
It shows you
leadership.
care. Yeah, it shows leadership. Yep.
I think the Broncos play them at the end of the season because it's not in the next 3 or 4 weeks. The Chiefs
Okay,
Broncos.
That'll be
But
interesting.
I mean, those are going to be huge games. Huge games.
personally, okay, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to win the division, but if they get, like I said, the offense together, they can make a good enough run to be a candidate for a wild card spot in the AFC.
They just have to also stay healthy. They have to stay healthy that they are now.
Yeah, looking
They
at the
cannot lose.
standings, like one team is making it at AFC East, and that's the Bills. I think we could all agree with that. I don't think the Jets are making the playoffs. I mean,
I don't think Miami is either.
Miami's
So-
not.
That's another team I wanted to say the panic button on. Miami, you are.
I think we
toast.
all knew
Miami's
it.
cooked.
Yeah, we all knew
Miami's
that.
cooked
We all
for
knew
sure.
that.
Yeah.
We all knew that one.
I wasn't gonna be blatant like that, but Devon A. Chain, you're cooked. Mostert, you're done. Tua, what's
Yeah.
up, bro?
Nah, I still have hope with A-Chain. I still do, because he's their only
Hey, man,
weapon. Honestly,
I love you for that. I love you for that. As long as you bring the.
I need a running back so
What do you
bad.
want?
That's why I traded you, dude. Garrett Wilson.
It was on.
It was a
good
fair
trade.
trade.
It was
It
a
was
very good-
it was a
It
fair
was a very
trade.
good trade. Very good trade.
But anyway, looking at the AFC more, I honestly think the AFC North right now. No offense, Will, but I don't have the Bengals making the playoffs. I honestly,
I don't either. I don't either.
I don't even know if Pittsburgh can sustain a streak
No.
of games. You
I
think they can?
could.
If they get
If
their
Russell
offense
Wilson-
figured out, maybe.
If
Maybe.
Russell Wilson
Yeah.
can figure it out, they put George Pickens on a short lease and maybe get Devontae Adams. I can see it happening.
Yeah.
The Browns are not coming out. I don't think.
No, Browns aren't. Ravens win that division, 100%.
By the way, we need to all come back to earth because we all said the Browns were coming out of that division.
Nah, I don't even remember
Gotta
what
bring
I
it down
said.
to earth.
I don't even remember
Yeah,
what I
was
said.
talking some crazy shit. Listen, I'll give it to Nick Diamond right now. I was talking some crazy shit. Fair enough, fair play, bro. It's
Deshaun
fine.
Watson
Whatever.
is the worst quarterback in NFL history.
He
Period.
is so bad.
He also
So
touches
bad.
people.
Dude, yes.
No, he hires people to touch him.
yes, even worse.
Probably unpaid. We don't know that.
Unpaid. Yep.
Do
But-
it for
Unpaid
free.
interns.
Do it for free.
Dude, the AFC though in general is so open. So I think
It's so
Denver
open.
Denver has such a good shot. They have to beat the Chargers at least once, like you said, but even twice, dude. I think they have to beat the Chargers. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Even twice.
I-
I think that even is important. The Chargers are overhyped, first of all. I think they're overhyped. I don't think they're talented
Chargers-
enough.
I don't know if
They-
we know how good they are yet.
they've been overhyped, and I'm gonna say this since J.K. Dobbins' great game, and that was against the Raiders. Or
That was
Yeah.
week one. That was week one, wasn't
They're
it?
playing the Broncos this week, by the way.
that's who it was. If the Broncos beat the Chargers, I'm all in.
Huge.
on Bo Nix.
This is a big week for the Broncos. Yeah, they have to beat the Chargers this week.
Following it up against Sean Payton playing his old
Wait,
franchise
Wait,
on Thursday Night Football.
I
Ooh.
just want to give a huge. I forgot to mention this. Just want to give a huge panic button to the ultimate clip farming meme of the NFL right now, and that's Will Levis in Tennessee.
Will
Dude,
Levis,
panic.
bro, he is terrible.
Dude, did you see the clip of him like crying on the sideline?
Dude, he
Have you
talks.
Yep.
seen that?
Yeah, he's so
I
It's
saw it.
loud.
so
It's so
funny,
bad.
bro.
You could just tell he's
Like,
so stupid. He's literally got bones for brains. You just
yeah,
tell,
so
the
dude.
bad.
Tennessee Titans, you are cooked. You're cooked.
I still think they're going to win this week. I still think they're
Who
going to
they
win this
play?
week against the Colts, I think.
Oh, that's such a bad game.
I think Joe Flacco shows him who's daddy and shows him who's got a ring, and I think that
They-
Joe Flacco.
Don't get me wrong. Their defensive front has been locking it down.
No, their defense isn't bad. Yeah, their
They're,
defensive
they're,
front's
they're,
nice.
statistically right now, they're number one in rushing defense.
Wow.
That's being the best.
Okay.
So I'll give it to them. I'll give them to them there. Statistically, yes, they had their bye, but
I didn't know
gotta
that.
see a little.
That's pretty cool. I didn't think they were ranked highly in anything, to be honest. So defense, I knew their defense was decent, but that's pretty interesting. Yeah, dude. They're bottom feeders for sure though. Still.
I personally don't know who's coming out in NFC.
The NFC East, yeah, it's still toss up. I have Dallas right now coming out. I think only Dallas.
Low key.
I did have the Eagles, but what? Go ahead.
This will get you a little hype. Same as my division, Matt. All four of those teams can make it.
Yeah, Giants are gonna be.
The
thing about the Giants.
Let's pump the brakes on this one, dude. Let's not. I do not think
The
that
NFC
either of those
East
teams
is
can make
not that great.
I think that like I said, I think that the Commanders slow back. I think the Eagles, like Matt, you said, finish 8-9 or 9-8, and that's going to swing either way. And I think that the Giants are on a good run right now, but I do not see them being over 500. I just don't. And I think I would say probably I would agree with you, Matt. I think Dallas probably wins the division and makes it out.
And I'm only saying that because of Dak. Dak is the best quarterback in this division. And he'll just give that team wins. Jalen Hurts isn't that great. We've proved it now because without receivers, he sucks. Dak, on the other hand, without receivers, is fine. And yeah, Commanders are gonna fall off at some point. They just are. And I get they're like the highest scoring team right now. But I mean, let's look at some of the teams they've played. I mean, Bengals are, we've already talked about the Bengals. The Cardinals' defense is terrible as well.
That's who we haven't talked about, the Cardinals, at all, but go on.
Yeah. So the Giants should have beaten the Commanders that week. I mean, that was a joke of a game. The Giants should have won that one. And then the Browns are just terrible. So who have they really beaten right now? You can honestly say they haven't beaten anyone significant yet. And then they have the Panthers coming up. It's like
who, the Commanders?
Yeah, they have.
They have the Ravens this week.
Oh, my bad. Commanders after that. I mean the Panthers after that. Yeah, but Ravens are gonna kill them.
Hey,
Ravens are gonna kill them.
If they somehow beat the Ravens, dude,
I'll shut up then. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
Take the over. Take the over of that game. I think.
I like the over.
It's gonna be high scoring. I think it could be high scoring. Yeah.
Easily. That since I said it, the Arizona Cardinals.
I think the Arizona.
How are we feeling about that?
I think the
Yellow
Cardinals
light.
are.
Yellow light.
They're on the verge
Yellow.
of like being kind of
because they've been so bipolar, right? You see them throw a dud against the Commanders, right? Scoring 10 points, getting blown out by 30 points, but then they go on the road to San Francisco and win. It's like
they've played good teams though so far. Like they've played the Lions, the Bills, and the 49ers so far. So if we're looking at who they've played, they might be better than we think. We just don't know yet.
What's their record?
They're 2-3. They've lost to the Bills, the Lions.
Who do they play this week?
They lost to Commanders. They play the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers.
Their schedule is tough, dude. Their schedule is tough.
Is that at home?
Another game.
Is that at home?
Yes. No. Yes. No. It's in Green Bay.
No.
It's in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay.
See, I don't see them winning that.
Take the over.
I
It's
don't-
at 52.5.
That's like the highest scoring game of the week.
Take
I
the
don't know.
over that, baby.
I think the Cardinals are going to be fine because they've played crazy competition. I mean,
I'm a feed off of the yellow light. There's a lot more need to be proved there.
yeah, I
There's a
would,
lot.
I would
I
agree
think
with
I think
that.
it's yellow. I think it's yellow light, and it's also can they take care of business against teams like Seattle, like the Rams? Can they take care of business like that? And then can they already took a game from San Francisco? Do they take two? I don't. I mean, they already won in San Fran. Do they pull that back and win at home? I mean, if they do that, we're talking division front runners. But if they lose those
That-
games or they split one to LA, I mean, that would.
That division's
Well,
open. That division's open.
LA, I think LA's coming angry fast.
I think
Once Puka's back,
Rams are going to turn it
Cooper's
around.
back. I think Rams are coming angry. Angry. When when they have their stars back.
I think them and the Bucks are the most injured teams in the league. So,
Yep.
I don't know if they're out of it. I really do think the Rams are going to shock some people and make a playoff push. I don't think they're making the playoffs because of the start, but I think they'll end like with like 8 wins and like just miss it. So I don't know.
Sell high on Kyron Williams though. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. That is true. So
I mean, one last thing.
yeah.
Drake May's getting his first
Oh,
this year.
good shout.
That will be.
He's gonna get
very interesting
massacred.
watch.
He's gonna get sacked like crazy.
So, hear me out. I think it's an upset. I think Drake May gets his first win.
The Texans?
Because of how close they did it, and they're without Nico Collins. Okay, bearing they have Joe Mixon back. I think Joe Mixon scored as a day. Hank Dell's fragile as a piece of paper.
Very, very hot.
Texas defense is nice though. I don't know.
Texas
I
defense is very
see
nice.
that.
Very nice.
Their
I
defense is
kind of,
nice.
I just want to believe a little bit in the. That's why I kind of Spencer.
Dude, if
No, he's
Drake
gonna get
May
cooked.
wins that game, the hype that's gonna be around this dude is gonna be ridiculous.
Unreal.
It's gonna be
But
ridiculous.
if you win in Boston after having that whole dynasty, they're gonna be like, oh, it's the dynasty.
Bro, they're setting up this dude to fail. First of all, they said they were gonna sit him the whole year. My take is that Jacoby Brissett was like, bro, I'm done with this. I've been sacked 50 times already. I don't want to play anymore. Like that's why that's the conversation in the back, and they're like, all right, Drake May,
Get
you're
in there,
up,
bud.
bro.
You're getting there, brother.
Dude's gonna get sacked 5 times this weekend. It's gonna be bad.
You don't believe it. You don't believe in any type of close scenario. This game could happen.
I think it could be.
No,
Not really.
I don't
No,
think so.
no,
Just because
not
Drake
really.
May in the preseason games, he only threw screen passes. Like I swear to God, that's all he did. I didn't see him throw the ball down the field once. He probably did. I don't remember. They only threw screen passes. What are we about to see this weekend? A massacre.
Antonio Gibson. Start Antonio Gibson.
Dude, all I'm saying is he's literally gonna have a rough game. They set him up to fail. I think Patriots are stupid. I might be, regretting that statement if they win, but don't start him against the Texans. That's just stupid to me. Start him against
That's
a team
fair
you could
enough.
beat. So just
Fair
I don't
enough.
get it.
I know, Will, you've been itching to say this, but this will be our closing for this episode. Robert Saleh is no longer a New York Jet.
Oh, how could we forget?
I think I think somehow, some way, the Jets are a dumpster fire of an organization. We know that. But somehow, some way, getting him out of there I think, is going to galvanize this team somehow. Do I think that they make the playoffs? I still don't think that they make the playoffs, but I think that they win games down the stretch somehow.
To go off that, the record for rookie head coaches midseason, like their first games, is crazy. It's like they win so often.
It's a
Raiders
new
head
look.
coach
It's a new
Pierce,
Antonio Pierce.
Pierce was going crazy last year. once he became head coach. I wouldn't be surprised if Jets win this weekend, but then like fall off.
Against the Bills?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I could.
I
see
honestly
the Monday
think
night. I
it.
can see
Bills
the
been
Mon-
struggling,
I would
dude.
think-
Like last
Yeah.
week was bad. Like that's kind of their team's definitely not feeling good after that last game. So Jets are they, bro, dude.
I hate all
Jets-
the New York Jets fans.
I had one more thing about that game in particular. Aaron Rodgers has zero freaking chemistry with his receivers, dude. Garrett Wilson,
does.
all his receptions were just short passes, like 5 to 10 yard like short slants or
It's-
cutback routes.
It's still 13 out of 15 reception.
It's crazy how many targets he got. But otherwise, the rest of that team, Aaron Rodgers, first of all, a few of his receivers didn't catch the ball when they should have. That happened for sure. But that last drive was a disgrace. Aaron Rodgers literally has no chemistry with these dudes. I don't know. I don't think it's going to
I
help.
think
And he's 40, about to be 40 years old, man. We like
I
at,
personally
at the end of the
think
day.
I personally
Yeah.
think that was an Aaron Rodgers move. Whether he says it wasn't, it
I mean,
was never going to be.
He's the
it was
reason
never
he
gonna
got
be-
fired, though.
He
He
was
is
never
the
going to
reason.
be never going to be Nathaniel Hackett. Never. Because Aaron Rodgers loves Nathaniel Hackett.
He got
Even
demoted.
though I think they should. I think Nathaniel Hackett should be fired. He
Yeah.
should have been fired.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I mean, I wouldn't mind if the Bengals picked up Robert Saleh as defensive coordinator.
It's true. He's a good
I wouldn't mind
He's a
that
good defensive
whatsoever.
coordinator, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, is he
Running a team? Probably not, but
not running a team? No.
well, if you got Saleh as your defensive coordinator, I think that's a little juice coming in.
I was literally about to say that if he came in as our
It's
DC,
a good
I would
pickup.
not be opposed. I would not be opposed at all. But we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll
Yep.
see.
Very true.
We'll see.
But I think that wraps up this episode, boys. I mean, we had enough said. We ran over all 32, I believe. We didn't.
Yep.
SOL. I don't know. I don't know
No,
what to tell you.
we covered almost everything.
We covered him, man.
But let's get into it. Let's run it back. Heading into the week. I'm excited. 9:30 a.m. Lock in, baby.
We're there.
All right.
Peace.
Let's get it.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and definitely keep it around. Peace.